Welcome to this short video on BIRDonCloud product. In this video, we are going to look at a live demonstration of Bird product, and we'll try to cover all the features of the product. For this demo session, we are going to log in with a power user in the system. Basically, in the system, we have three types of users: a power user, a read-only user, and admin. A power user is the one who can create reports in the system, and read-only users are the one who consumes the report produced by power users. So once we log in into the system, we're going to see the home page of the user. Home page is a place where the users can pretty much keep all the reports that they create at a centralized location. Now, this is the home page of this user. I logged in with a user called Scott. And any notifications that come to Scott are shown on the top right corner, and pretty much clicking on that, any of the links would take you to that particular report. Now, if the user is a power user that logged in, this plus icon would get enabled, which shows that by clicking on that, they can create new reports in the system. Now, some of the other user elements on the home page are: there's a quick navigator to the left, which takes you to favorites. There's like a my storyboards, my reports, and share reports. So it's easy to navigate within the system. And we also give you a folder view, right? So this is where you can actually select multiple folders, and there's a list view as well. Now, if there are too many reports that are just piling up for the user, they can always get into a list view of that section, and within the list view you can sort by the report name, or you can sort by the create date, or you can search for any report that they want to see. Now, a few other elements on the user interface is, each of the reports we show you like how many times this report was viewed, either by this user or by any other user who has access to this particular report that was collaborated or shared. And the report itself, carries a lot of information. It shows the folder where it was created, on what was the day it was created, and these icons indicate that this is a favorite, this is a collaborated report, and few other icons like if it's a scheduled report, this particular icon would be enabled. So all these information will help you in picking the right report for your access. Now, for this demo, let us do one thing. Let us click on an existing storyboard, see all the features of Bird product, and then we'll go ahead and create a new report in the system. So what I'm doing is I'm just clicking on this report called company sales. So once we click on the company sales storyboard, the entire storyboard would get loaded. And the way these storyboards are structured is, it is based on the user preference in terms of the color themes, the color palettes, the way we want to arrange all these different tiles. Everything is customizable and it's user friendly in terms of how these storyboards are structured. So that is the beauty of these storyboards. So there's a quick navigator here. So right now we can see that there are 6 tiles that are kept. Each tile has a maximize window. You can delete the tile, or you can readjust the tile to any size the way you want. So for example, like this is a tile I'm just dragging here, and I just want to see a full width of this particular tile, and I can do that as well. Now this particular tile, I just want to arrange the size. I want to increase the size of that particular tile. I can do that very easily. So all this gives a lot of flexibility, customization in terms of adjusting the storyboards as per the user preference. Now, a couple of other elements is like, there's a menu bar onto the top right corner, and clicking on that, you can completely customize the look and feel of these storyboards. So for example, like I don't like, red color, or I just want to put some other theme color, I can definitely do that. And including your storyboard background also, you can completely change here. So for example, like, so I can have a lighter theme on my background colors. So that way you can, change all these color settings, and you can save as per the user preference. So I'm just going to cancel out of that. Now let me just go ahead and click that option again, and I just want to see the full toolbar. Now within the toolbar, if you want to add a new tile, you can just click on this icon and it gets a new tile gets added. And if you want to add filters to the existing reports, existing tiles, you can add multiple filters, any number of filters. And once you say apply, so the filters, the field gets added here. And once you expand it, you can add, you can select your filter options and say apply filters, and all the tiles would automatically change. And this also indicates that one filter applied here, right? So, and if you want to save the report, you can go ahead and save the report. You can also clone the report. You can set it to favorites, and if you want to collaborate the report with other users, you can do that. So this is showing that this is already collaborated with these set of users. We can put in our comments, and if you want to remove an existing collaboration, you can click on that, or if you want to add more, you just click on that empty space, and you can add to a group or set of users. So this is how reports can be collaborated within the system. Now, if you want to embed this storyboard in one of your internal portals, you can do that by clicking on this embed URL. So clicking on the embed, the system gives you the URL for you to embed. And during embedding, you can control whether you want to have with login or without login. So for example, if you're sending it to your customers or vendors and you don't want to create another Bird profile for them, what you can do is you can say access without login, and the system won't prompt for access controls for that person. So if you say with login, the system will force you for authentication. So similarly, you can also email the report as well. So it gives you can embed the reports, and also you can email the reports. Now, sometimes, if you want to schedule this entire storyboard on a daily, weekly, or monthly basis, you can click on this schedule option, and you can select your users. You can give a subject, and again, you can control the access permission. You can send the URL, and you can start scheduling the report on a daily basis or on a weekly basis. You can set the start time, you can set the end time, and pretty much, you can schedule your reports on a daily basis. Now, these are all the features that are available on a particular storyboard. And again, it gives you a lot of features like, if you want to zoom into a particular area, you can definitely do that. So for example, like, so I can just zoom into a particular area. So all these flexibility is given to the users. Now let's do one thing. One of the tiles, let's maximize this, and let's look at some of the features that are available. So again, since we already applied a filter, since we selected that filter called product category, so the filter shows that there's one filter that you can apply. And what you are seeing here is the same toolbar is carried on the top. That means that you can save this report individually in addition to saving the storyboard, and you can collaborate this report individually to other users as well by clicking on this collaborate. You can embed the storyboard, or you can even schedule this particular single report. Now, some of the other nice features in terms of drill downs. So for example, like I see that bikes, the quantity is not so great. Let's understand why it is so. I just clicked on this icon here, and let's get into the subcategory of bikes. So the system instantly shows that, okay, you can get to mountain bikes, road bikes, and touring bikes. So let's click on touring bikes. Let's see which year they were kind of low. So the system shows that it's for 2007 and 2008. So if you just keep on clicking, the system, you can go into N level of drill down, and it gives you a lot of flexibility for you to analyze and get to the root cause of the problem. Similarly, by clicking on the back button, you are back to your original visualization. Now let's click on the attributes. This is where you can control what kind of visualization you're seeing, what are the parameters that gets into the visualization. You can do that. So for example, like I can control what kind of chart style I'm picking up here. So within bar chart, there are multiple visualizations that are given to you. So you also have KPI metric tiles. You can write your own textual comments. You can have geomaps. All these visualizations are given to you by default. Now, all the fields that are part of the report gets automatically divided into what we call as dimensions and measures. So let's take one of the dimensions, sales, but I want to see the average sales, for example, or sum of sales. But sales is given as a dimensions, and this is an alphanumeric here. So what we can do is, let's convert this to a number first. So I'm just converting this to a number. Wonderful. Now I'm going to convert this to a measure. So the count became 2 now. So under the measures, you'll see sales, and let's take the sum of sales, right? Now what I'll do is I'll remove this order here, and I'm going to select the sum of sales, right? And what I can also do is I can start creating my own calculated fields. So for example, let us create a field called what if field, and I want to multiply the sales by 2 times. So what I'm doing is I'm just selecting one of the fields. So I can multiply by 2 times. So what I'm doing is I'm just saying that what if my sales is doubled? How is my visualizations going to look like? So and during this creation, we can write complex formulas. You can apply any of these functions that are given by default. You can apply logical if statements, if then else kind of a statements. You can validate the formula, right? So the expression is valid, and I'm going to apply. And once we apply, the new field with the new color gets created here. And this is a field now I can start using in my reports, and I can actually do a what if analysis. And I already showed you how to change your x-axis, y-axis. You can have a new dimension, which is like legend series. You can change your color themes the way you want to. Again, these are all user preference color themes that we have given. You can opt for any colors that you like. You can take your chart titles. So, for example, I want to apply data labels as well. And let's take. You can show legend, not an issue. So sorting, you can sort your data, you can rank your data as well. Now let's click on apply. So we have taken product category by sales. Now if I click on apply, let us see how the visualization is going to change like. Wonderful. So instantly your visualization it got changed, and it looks like the sales is not bad for bikes, right? But for clothing and all that, it's not so great. Now we can actually drill down into other categories as well. So this is how we can actually, slice and dice the reports. Now, if you want to see the data behind this particular report, you can click on the data section here. And this is where the system shows you the data for this report. And if you see that there's a new column that got automatically created, and it's exactly double of your sales. And this is the what if field. Now, what we can do is these data tables are optimized for large amounts of data. Actually millions of records. So within these data tables, what we can do is we can instantly start grouping the data. So for example, I can start grouping by product category. Now I can do a subgroup of, subcategory here. And I can also start grouping by order year. And if I want, I can also do group by of quarter. So that way, instantly my huge volume of data, I'm able to quickly group my data, and I am able to see the totals and the grand totals by year and all that, right? And similarly, these sorting, other field selections, all these are given by default. You can export the data to multiple formats as well, and these are all security driven. And here on the right side in the settings, you can select which columns to show, which columns to hide, and you can also for example, display how many records you want to display per page. Great. Now let's get into the pivot section. Pivot is a place where you can, it's very similar to your Excel-based pivot, but these pivots are optimized for large amounts of data. So in the pivots, what I can do is I can start selecting my fields. By the way, I can select multiple fields as well. Like I can also select a subcategory if I want. So for this demo, I'm just selecting product category. I can put order year. I can also select one more column, like let's take quarter, and let's take sales. And if I want to change the aggregation type, I'll do a sum of sales. Now, once these parameters are selected, I'll click on apply. And this is where instantly your pivot is plotted. And by product category, by year, and by quarter, I'm able to see the sum of sales. And this is your grand totals. So obviously, bikes is doing a wonderful job. And the total sales for bikes is pretty high. Now, the same pivot, if you want to do a nice visualization, you just click on this option here and click on the area chart. And instantly, you can see your visualization. If you want to zoom into a particular area, you can do that as well. You can reset the zoom. And by the way, these visualizations you can export to multiple formats. Clicking on, you can export to PDF, SVG, PNG, JPEG, and other formats. Now the same thing we can also visualize in line charts, right? And we can also visualize in bar kind of a visualizations. So it gives you a lot of flexibility in viewing multiple data. So again, in the pivot, you can go back and let's take subcategory, for example. Now let's do one thing. After selecting subcategory, let's click on apply. So the system shows by product category, by subcategory, the year and the quarter, and it's a wonderful breakup the system has given. And now again, let's look at the visualization to see how it's changing. Wonderful. So by category and subcategory, and the system is giving a new kind of visualization. So this way you can slice and dice the data and quickly understand what is trending and what is not trending and so on. Now let's minimize this particular visualization. So this is your visualization that we just created, and wonderful. So this way it gives you a lot of flexibility, as I told you. Again, you can drag these as you like, and the system automatically gets adjusted, right? And these executive summaries and these things also help you to start writing your own summary on your report. And based on how you collaborate within your team, your other members can start editing this section, and it becomes a running notes on your storyboard that you created. So it becomes like almost like a chat window between users, and they can start writing the comments, their observations, and all that. And our idea of creating such kind of textual visualizations is that you don't have to create a separate PowerPoint presentations anymore. Pretty much you can create something like this and start sharing to your C-level management executives, and they can look at the data the way they want to see. Now I can quickly go onto the home page, and I'm back to my original home page. Now what we'll also do is, now that we have seen all the features of an existing storyboard, let us go ahead and see how we can create a new storyboard in the system. So what I'm doing is I'm just clicking on this plus icon here, and on click of the plus icon, for this user who is Scott, I logged in, all the available scopes are shown by default. Now, scope is nothing but a business functional unit in the organization. So for example, or at a department level, you can think a sales department will have its own sales scope, a product department will have its own product scope, and so on. Now, these icons also indicate that what is the source behind this particular scope. So this is from SQL Server, this is from MySQL, this is from Hadoop, this is from Oracle, and so on. Now, you can also, if you want, you can upload your CSV files, and what you can do is you can upload your CSV, you can preview it, you can do your custom mappings, or you put your business names, finally preview, and you can upload. And tomorrow, if the customer is sending the same kind of a spreadsheet with new data, what you do is you click on Add to Existing Report, and in the drop down you select the report that you create, and you can add the new data that you're getting from customers to the same report. And that becomes a repository of all the, the CSV files that you get over a period of time. Now, for this demo, let's click on this product details scope, which is from SQL Server. Now, in this particular scope called product details, we have all these entities that are listed here. Now, because of the artificial intelligence or the machine learning engine that BIRDonCloud inbuilt has, we automatically process the metadata of your source systems. And because of that, what happens is, as the user is selecting any kind of entities, the system in the background can automatically generate reports for you. So for example, like since I selected product and product category, and if I click on generate, in the auto view, all these default 6 reports are instantly plotted for you. Now, based on the ranking algorithm, this is the best matching storyboard for us. But if you see this report, this also has product inventory. And for example, this report has product cost history as well. So if I'm interested in inventory, I can just click on this option. Inventory in addition to product and product category. So that is the beauty of BIRDonCloud, where we reduce the time that takes between business and the IT teams. Now, this is what we call as auto view. Now let's get into report builder to see what the system is giving for this fetch options. Now, in this report builder, the system automatically, for example, like let's minimize this, collapse all the group, and the system tells me that there are like 11 paths in terms of how it can fetch the data between product and product categories. Okay, so there are 11 different ways that I can actually fetch data between these two categories. Now let us see what the system is giving us. Now let's say if I'm interested in, with product and product categories, I'm also interested in knowing the special offers on the product. Okay, so I get my special offers report directly. So I have in my product category, but I'm also seeing my special offers. So clicking on this prepare report, selecting the columns, instantly I get my report. I don't have to ask my IT team or anyone. Now let us see what are the reviews given on the product. So, okay, product and product categories and customer product reviews are given right here. And if I click it, I get my report on product category and customer reviews. Wonderful. Now let's click on vendors. So if I click on vendors, this is the report. So it's very simple in terms of getting any kind of report that you want in the system. And you just keep on typing whatever you like. And if there's an option available, the system will fetch it and will give it to you instantly. Now let's click on this auto view and let's click on the storyboard and see what the system is giving by default. And by the way, these 6 storyboards are plotted on the fly based on the user search pattern. It's not that they were there earlier and they're coming out in the system, but on the fly, the system is able to create these reports. That is the strength of the product. Now, as I have selected my that particular report option, what the system does is the system automatically plots the top 4 storyboards available, and it automatically selects the field selections and automatically plots the report for you. So for example, there are 4 tiles the system has created with some default field selections that it prompted. Now, if I want to add more tiles other than 4, what I do is I just come and click here, and there should be a 5th tile got added now. If you scroll down, the 5th tile will be coming up here. Okay, so maybe the visualization is taking some time. Yeah, it's a very complex pie chart the system has created. That's the reason it took some time. Now let's plot one more tile. So I just click on this option here again, and there should be a 6th tile now that gets created. Right? So the system is very flexible in terms of how you want to kind of create your different tiles, how you want to adjust it and all that. So for example, like this tile, let me just drag it and arrange the way I want to arrange. I want to see a full width of this particular tile. Okay. Now, I don't like this combination of list price by row GUI ID. So what I can do is, let me just go to maximize here. I'm going to click on attributes. And what I'm going to do is, I'm going to remove this list price here, and I'm going to select something like probably, product line. And I'm also going to remove row GUI ID, and I'm going to select, I want to know the count of products, and I also want to know the count of subproducts, for example, right? So let's take the chart style of a stacked bar. And if I want color themes, I can opt for any kind of a color theme. So let's take one of this option here. And what I'll do is I'll click on apply now. And the system should give me a stacked bar now with product line as the x-axis and product ID and product subcategory ID. Now if I minimize this, I have my tile with the right combination that we have. So I can obviously toggle these options here, and I can also see what the system has created. So that way, for example, if I just want to see product category IDs, I can do that. Or if I want to remove this, I can do that as well. And any of these styles, we can completely adjust the way we want. So for example, I just want a minimum pie chart here. I don't want to give too much space for pie charts. It's very flexible in terms of how you want to adjust it, play it, and all that. Anyway, I think if you want to, again, I think I shown you earlier, I'm not going to spend time here, but you can completely customize the colors and all that. So you can completely play around with all these options. Right? So I can just click on apply, and I have a nice looking storyboard. Now, if I want to save this report or storyboard, what I do is I just click on this option here, and this is where I give my storyboard name, my first storyboard. Okay. I can also select a folder where this particular report is going into. And the most important option here is in terms of the data sync schedule. So by default, we talk to your source systems, wherever the source system is. We talk every 30 minutes, and we try to pull in the data from your source system into our in-memory or big data layer. Now, if you go into custom, you can also select every 1 minute we can actually talk to your source system and instantly sync the incremental data from your source into our target. So this is the way we can, save our report and again, keep the data in synchronization and so on. And all these features, okay, let's minimize this menu bar also. I don't like this full menu bar. So once I click on apply, this menu bar is minimized, and okay, you have your storyboard. I think we covered all the features of the product so far. And again, thank you for watching this short video. Thank you.